Hey, how you doing? My name is Dan McDonald, and I'm the Life Regenerator here on YouTube. I want to thank you for joining me for today's episode of the Life Regenerator Show. I've got a really special guest today, someone who I believe in 100%, and she is going to share some of her awesome recipes with you today. What I want you to do, or consider if you would, as a favor to yourself, is to subscribe to her videos. There's going to be a link down below. And 3 years ago I was here and we had such a wonderful time, and she was looking for something different. And I think she had a few videos on YouTube. And then I said, hey, let me put you on mine, you know, and then it just took off like wildfire. And now Dara Dubonnet, come on in here, Dara.
All right.
Has her
hi everybody.
Has her awesome channel, and so she's gonna make an epic salad for you. I know salad dressings are key.
Yes.
And this is really great. It's clean, fresh, it's delicious. So check out Dara.
Yes.
Go down and click on the link down below. Check out her channel, subscribe, and then look for these awesome videos, because you do something a little different than me, but you're very creative, and it all comes from love, and that's why I'm here to share with you, Dara Dubonnet. Show us the love.
Yes, thank you, Dan the man. Peace. First of all, we're different, but we're not that different. I eat really clean. I eat a lot of fruits. I don't eat an enormously high fatty diet, although I do realize that everybody's coming in at a different level, and we each need to go to our next level of health, and that can be different at any given time of the year, the month, or the day. So I want everyone to just take a deep breath and relax about things, because as long as you're putting in the whole beautiful food and making your own salad dressings that are not store-bought and have all kinds of weird things in them, you're going to be okay. So this is the fastest salad in the West, or it's otherwise called the bottom of the bowl salad. And I realized that there's a way to make a salad dressing at the bottom of the bowl. You whisk it up and then you put the greens in. That's how fast and that's how easy. Because I like Dan, do not want to be standing in the kitchen all day. I want to eat my food, I want to fuel my body, and I want to get out in the sunshine and ride a bike, or go for a run, or go to the gym. And so basically the ingredients are as follows: apple cider vinegar. If you have fresh citrus, I recommend orange juice or lemon juice. You can use both. These ingredients are easy to keep on hand all the time. So apple cider vinegar is in the refrigerator. So we're just going to put a splash. You can make a salad for one, a salad for two, a couple tablespoons. Remember to do things to your taste. I'm going to use tahini. I mean, this may be where Dan and I differ, but a little bit of tahini. I use my fats to carry my greens. The fats, a little bit of fat makes the greens very palatable. And a tablespoon of this mixed with the apple cider vinegar is just going to make it, you know, grab onto the greens and make it much more delicious to eat. If for some reason you are anti-tahini at the moment, which you might be, you might just not want to have it, go ahead and add some powdered spirulina. That'll kind of give a nutty, fatty kind of feeling to this. But tahini is ground up sesame seeds, and they're filled with protein and fiber and some fatty acids, so they're a healthy, good fat. And they're ground up, because if you go to eat sesame seeds that have been sprouted, you really do have to chew them so much to get the nutrients out of them. So the paste is a good idea. So basically, I'm using Living Tree Community Foods organic and alive sesame tahini. Organic's the most important thing of all. So we have our apple cider vinegar, we have tahini, and I'm going to add a little bit of honey. You don't have to use honey. For those of you who don't want to, use a little bit of coconut nectar or some very high quality maple syrup. The reason I'm using something liquidy is so that I can whisk it at the bottom of the bowl, so I don't have to use any other, maybe a mini food processor. If you wanted to use a whole sweet food like a date, you can make your dressings in a little mini food prep. That's good too. But this is so easy. So we have a little bit of honey. I'll take less than that. You just don't need very much at all. It's like maybe a teaspoon. And sometimes I use almond butter in place of the tahini. And sometimes, instead of the salt I'm about to use, I use a little bit of namashoyu, and a little bit goes a long way. That's an unpasteurized soy sauce. We don't want to go crazy with soy products. Some of us want to stay away from them completely. But if you're trying to please somebody who eats kind of not such good food, use some almond butter, use a little namashoyu, have a party with a huge salad, and it won't hurt you. But day in and day out, you just don't want to have too much. So basically, oh, there's one more ingredient that I've been using lately that I really love. If you want to juice some ginger, that's great, or grate some ginger. If you want to keep something in the refrigerator, this is from the Ginger People, and it's organic, naturally pressed ginger juice. And so it gives a little ginger kick, and that is anti-inflammatory, and it's a great flavor. So that's it. That's how easy it is. And we mix it up. We whisk it up with a fork. Oops. Whisk, whisk, whisk. And we thank Dan for introducing me to you guys so many years ago. And we're all one big family, so it's nice when we get to connect with each other's families. And I really want to thank Dan. Thank you, Dan, for doing that and being a part of my life and being an inspiration to so many people. And the thing I love, well, there's so many things I love about Dan, but basically he walks his talk. And I can see after 3 years, this is the first time in 3 years I've got to be so up close and personal and have the talks we used to have. And he's evolved. He's really been doing his work, and he really up close looks so gorgeous. His eyes are so blue and so white, and his skin is just magnificent, and his body and his countenance and the peace about him. So I really want to say that it's a privilege and an honor to be connected with such a fine human being, always on a search for self-betterment and God and love and peace, and he's the real deal. So in that way, you know, I feel similar to him because I'm operating from the heart. You know, I just want everyone to know this information, because while I make it look all cute and fun and it's fast and it's easy, it seriously is a state of emergency. Everybody deserves to have this information that really good food is the way to go. What'd you say?
Herbie.
Herbie, my dad? Okay, so my dad started eating the way I eat 7 months ago. Organic, vegan. Then all of a sudden he's like, I don't want any of the cooked food, even though it was organic vegan. He only wanted raw, because I eat raw, and he is a whole new man. His spinal stenosis, he was in so much pain that he couldn't walk more than 2 blocks. And now he runs around the farmers markets with me. He was at the Raw Living Expo dancing till 11 o'clock at night, filled with love, filled with light, filled with an excitement for life. And he said, guess what? You don't have to have, I'm getting chills, you don't have to have aches and pains as you age. He's getting better and younger. He said, Dara, I don't know when I've ever felt this good. Oh, I have chills. He said, I'm happy as heck. So you're going to see when you go to my YouTube channel, you get to inspire the moms, the uncle, your people in your life that you've been wanting to reach with this message. I have somebody who's actually doing it, and you're going to see. You're going to love Herbie. So we have a great, he lives right downstairs, and we get to share meals and beautiful people, and Dan's going to get to give him a hug or get a hug from Herbie. So you guys, this is how easy it is. Okay, I might add a little bit more tahini to make it thicker, to grab onto the lettuce. It's really going to be up to you as far as how much lettuce you feel like eating. If it's 1 or 2 people, make it thick enough so that it grabs on and it feels good and hearty. And then basically I just throw the lettuce in. Now, you can get fancier. You can throw some tomatoes in. You could take my little Borner V-Slicer, which is my very favorite tool in the whole entire kitchen. My favorite, and I put on my handy dandy cut protection glove. You can get both of these on Amazon. Borner V-Slicer and a cut protection glove, which is stained with beets because I use it so much. And you take a carrot and you go like that, and you get your grated carrot. You take the beet, you take the cucumber, you take the zucchini. Sometimes I'll do all my vegetables, red pepper, right in a bowl like that, mix it up. It's cut down into nice, small sizes, which we call, yes.
I've never seen that before.
Okay, so basically,
like you could make a little pile maybe on the board.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Because that thing is like,
that's a great idea. Thank you.
Space alien.
It's so cool. It's like, see? Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what's happening is that I am saving myself a lot of time julienning. So you want to take a beet, just wash the beet and take the beet and go like that, and you get to have beets. And the nice thing about that is that the pieces are small and it gives you a small mouthfeel, a nice mouthfeel, so that when you have dressing, you're not biting into a big chunk of zucchini or a big carrot. See?
We're making a mess.
That's okay.
Awesome.
So basically, I'm going to do that with beets, with carrots, with zucchini, and then you throw in some tomatoes, and you mix the whole thing, and then you go watch whatever you want to watch. You sit down and you breathe, you chew.
Take us to the rest, all the way to the end.
Basically, that's the end, honey. We can add...
Are you going to throw tomatoes in?
You can throw tomatoes in. We could throw tomatoes in.
Oh my God.
You could cut up avocado, throw that in. Right? You could sprinkle some spirulina so it's really thick and protein-like, and you're getting some extra chlorophyll and protein, and it makes it kind of nutty and rich. So
the beauty of this thing is like how you mix the dressing in the bottom.
It's the dressing on the bottom of the bowl.
And then show us the rest, and then show us like putting it in your serving bowl.
Okay.
All the way to the end.
I'll show you all the way to the end.
And you know what? Then
and I'm going to eat it.
I want to ask you to reiterate one more time so someone can transcribe down below. And if you can, creatively give some measurements. I make them off the top of my head. 1 tablespoon.
Okay, so I would use a couple tablespoons of tahini for 2 people, a tablespoon if it's just you. It depends who you are. If you're coming from a high-fatty diet and you're eating hamburgers, by all means, use 2 tablespoons of tahini. You know what I mean? Like, don't cut the tahini and then go eat something bad. So give yourself enough fat to be satisfied. You'll know when it's time to lighten the load. 2 tablespoons of tahini, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You could use, or half a juice of lemon or half a juice of orange. I use like a teaspoon of honey depending on your flavoring. Feel free to add cayenne for some kick. I added ginger juice, so a teaspoon to a tablespoon of that depending on the kick you want for it. And some salt, pinch of salt to taste. It's really going to be up to you.
Vegetables of your choice?
Vegetables of your choice. Anything that's vibrant, that's local, that sings to you when you go to the market. Don't plan these things. Go to the market with your senses open. Be intuitive so that you can kind of resonate with whatever's jumping out at you, because usually it's the nutrients you need. Just like that cilantro juice you made, that's sung to you. And you came home and made the most beautiful detoxifying recipe, heavy metal detoxifying juice, because that's what popped out at you. So basically... Any other questions, Dan?
You did great, Dara. Thanks a lot. I want to encourage you. I'm going to come in and say, yeah, because I just want them to go over there and check out your videos with your dad. So good.
It's really light.
That looks really good and really fresh and smells delicious. And I'm glad to be here. And you should definitely check out the link down below. Check out Dara's channel. And like I said, subscribe to these videos as a favor to yourself, because she's very talented. And you're going to get a different style. You make tonics and smoothies.
Yes, I make hot herbal tonics so that you can give up coffee, so you don't have to get fine lines around your eyes, and you don't have to feel your nervous system tweaked out. I make things that are hot and creamy and delicious.
Right.
And that's another one of my specialties. And I just really want you to know that it's fun and it's easy. That's where you and I are similar. Fun, we're very similar in that way.
And whole and fresh.
And whole and fresh and
pure.
Yeah. So I can help you get to where he's at.
Sort of it's just like, we have to have an intelligent transition period. Nobody's going to go to be a fruitarian overnight. You can.
Right.
But the complications that can arise from putrid matter and then fruit and too much fermentation. So these salads and tonics and having fun with food too, and having diversity and having a repertoire. So if it's just you and you want to detox for a few weeks, you can do that. If you're having a party and you want to keep it raw, then you can do that.
Right.
So it's like knowing people like Dara and Dan and Christine and John and whoever else does the different recipes.
Yeah.
It's
an education. Because what I say to people, cleanses are great and detoxing is great, and by all means do them. We need to like clean out desperately. But it's really important to educate ourselves and how to sustain this lifestyle. Because if you do a detox and you don't know how to support day in and day out in your own kitchen, you know, then you're going to end up going back to what you were eating, and it's like not so good for your body. So educate yourself with making one thing. You can make the same thing every day. Don't be embarrassed about it. I'll eat the same thing for a week and then I'll switch on to something else.
But you have to have that something else. There's another thing that I want to mention. I was talking to Lou today, and this is something I had to learn over the long term. I would just say, go straight into it, you know, just eat fruits and greens. But the problem is the snapback effect. And so Lou kind of shared with me one time, here's why we make the coconut almond yogurt. Here's why we use more fat, because these, especially in the case of like weight loss or just transitioning, you're going from Chick-fil-A, like neurotoxins and excitotoxins, you're trying to get people to eat like, you know, oranges.
You're not going to just eat this. Like, it wouldn't be palatable.
More of these recipes is very intelligent. And then there's so many people that have an interesting perception of that's poisonous, that's toxic, that's not vegan. And you're like, whoa, whoa, we're trying to help the 99% of the people in this world that are hobbling around with 1 or 7 illnesses, and they're in a pain, and it's like, if you can give them this salad with a little sea salt and tahini, and get them off like a burger or fish or, you know, heavier foods that are
like filled with mercury.
This is life.
And this is like gorgeous. I mean, this is gorgeous food, and you can fluctuate with how much tahini you use or not so much or this or that thing. It's not about worry, and it's not about deprivation. It's about satisfaction, and you'll know when you need to get to your next level. You keep going to the next level, and it's gorgeous to watch. But everybody can't go from what they're eating jumping to just this. It's it won't work. They'll fail. They'll feel bad. I tried raw food. I didn't like it. So raw food can be delicious and still whole. That's the point.
You know, as the mind and heart are purified, you can eat less and less, more and more simple. I mean, yesterday I had grapefruit juice. Yeah. That was it. I didn't need anything else. I didn't want anything else. Yeah. I was satisfied because I was working on the heart. I spent many hours in meditation and contemplation. So as we do and live a full, rounded life that is the superstars of personal evolution and transmutation of the debris of the past into something great, and then we continue to evolve and listen, you'll eat less and less, because at the end of the day, the greatest food is knowledge, and the greatest knowledge is accumulated by witnessing your own reaction to the phenomenon in the universe. And then you can read a book, but that's another man's experience. But the witness that sits up here on top of your mind as you eat this salad and gives you feedback, that is knowledge. That is awareness. And that is the food that leads to life.
It's so true. And by eating this food, you're cleaning out all the junk so that you can get these messages that we get. And you can have eventually just this great sense of self-acceptance. I think that's what we're getting to, is just going, I'm beautiful no matter what my body looks like, and I'm here, and I'm doing the very best that I can. And if we can just get to love for ourselves.
Which is something that is pretty much like one of the, for me, you know, that's one thing. We get programmed with self-criticism, and some of us criticize others, and some of us criticize ourselves, but the critical mind will never be a mind that is well. A mind that is free from judgment, now that is a mind that is pure and quiet, and then the food digests no matter what it is. Then the illnesses slowly but surely whittle themselves away through pure consciousness.
Because you can be the best raw foodist in the world, but have stressors that come from without or within. We create our own stress, and then we don't digest well, and our faces look all tweaked. And it's really mostly about accepting, loving the preparation. If you get to grow your own food, that's the best. But then if you don't, then accepting and treating the food as if you did grow it, eating it with that prayer that you were talking about earlier, and then digesting it with self-love, and just having self-love all the way through. And if we can do that, nothing else needs to change. There's not a thing that needs to change.
The diet will change with the love, because you won't go with awareness. Nobody goes to Chick-fil-A with awareness. You go there unconscious and you leave unconscious. But if you go to Chick-fil-A next time or McDonald's and when you get the box of Oreos, it's like, okay, don't say no, I'm not going to eat these Oreos. Just say, I'm going to eat these Oreos in total awareness. And when you're sitting there with awareness, you're going to realize what you're doing because you're paying attention. You're not going to bonk out and eat the whole box of cookies. You're going to be aware, and you're going to say, wait a minute, this is hydrogenated stuff. It's going to clog up my kidneys in the next meal. I won't be able to digest. So it's really just paying attention. That's like the ultimate raw food, is pay attention. This was your video, and I wasn't going to take it over. But
is that possible, you guys? No way. I want to feed you a bite of this.
Teacher.
It's not fatty.
It's delicious.
No, really. It's really light and zingy. It's got some zing. It's kind of nice, right? Chew it.
Kind of nice.
It's good to be flexible and open, and
that is insanely good.
It's just light and fresh and happy, and I'm just so happy to have Dan here. Who wouldn't be happy to have Dan in their kitchen and home, and the energy and inspiration that comes from him is
some more of that.
Extraordinary. I'm happy to. I have plenty. This is the good thing about these ingredients. They can really be on hand at all times. The honey, the tahini, the apple cider vinegar, all you have to do is get greens. It's very easy.
That is unbelievable flavor. Make some more.
All right, honey.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
We love you. Get your greens on.
Boom.
And we will see you soon.
Thanks, Dara.
You're welcome, Dan.
Peace.
Peace.